but I think we're live now. So I just want to introduce you. I'm Linda Alario, and I'm here with Linda Darin. And Linda Darin is a nurse and energy healer. And I am so thankful that you said yes. I stumbled upon your website. I was just searching stuff on my doctor work, and your name popped up. So I was like, "Ooh, who's this?" So I'm so thankful that you said yes to an interview. And why don't we get started and you just share a little bit about yourself and how you got into the field of nursing and energy healing?
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. So very young on, I would see energy very young on. I would see light energy and I would see dark energy. As a young child, I would say 4, 5, or 6. So energy for me was part of life. I never feared energy, whether it was dark or chaotic. It just never, I never feared that. But very young on, I always wanted to be a nurse. I wasn't exactly encouraged to be a nurse, but I did volunteer very young on, about 12 years old. I was living in the Bronx at that time, and I went down the block, got on the bus, and began to volunteer at Albert Einstein Hospital as a volunteer. And I knew the very first time that I wanted to be of service in that capacity. So I began giving flowers and water out. And then before you know it, I was on the pediatric ward, which wasn't my favorite part of service. So in the nursing field, I was blessed to have so many different areas to service people. But the pediatric I felt was the most painful experience on my heart to see sick children. But from there, although it wasn't the favorite, I did decide to become a nurse and did choose the school, the high school that promoted nursing, which was also in the Bronx. It was a lovely all girls school. And I did go to Westchester Square Hospital about 16, 17, 18, and I was a home health aide. So at that point, I was very blessed to have many nurses around guide me and prep me up. And I was very, very happy at that, being trained. It was almost like an unfolding that God just set the people up, set the destiny up where things just unfolded. So when I graduated high school, I went to Bellevue School of Nursing in Manhattan. And I loved New York City. I was blessed to be among many cultures and people of all nationalities, and I just learned so much. I was able to go to some of the most prestigious hospitals and have training there, and I just loved it. So by the time I graduated Hunter Bellevue, I was able to begin in New York Hospital on 68th in York, and I started in a kidney transplant unit. Although I was only 21, I was able to be in the 4-bed ICU, the 15-bed transplant, hemodialysis, and peritoneal. And at that time, being so young, I was open to death and dying every day of my life. And so, although people came to get transplants, not everybody made it. And I learned a lot about medical, surgical, disease, but most of all, the spiritual aspect of life even opened up more. And I began to, what I was once keeping down as a child, this energy, I was, as a child, my father would say, Linda, this is not something to discuss. People would think that something is wrong with you, and it's best that you keep this to yourself when I was a young one. So I did keep all this energy to myself until I was in the ICU, when I began opening up, seeing more energy as people were being healed or as people were dying. I was seeing more and more energy. So there was no hiding anymore. I knew that I was in a place of a divine, how would you say, divine timing as everything unfolded. And so once again, death did not fear me. Actually, I became very comfortable with that every day. And I realized that there was an energy bigger than myself working through me, with me, and around me. So my faith and trust in creator energy, God, became even stronger. So after 4 years, there was another shift in my life, and I left the ICU. And I did do hemodialysis for a little bit of while, but I had an opening to go into business in sales with the New York region. And I was teaching about diabetes and selling diabetic products and helping for a while for those 7 years. But when I left the ICU, there was something that I knew I did well at, and that was counseling. So when I left there, I did apply to Iona College for family pastoral counseling for 3 years. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it because it had an energy of mind, body, and spirit involved in that. So as I was going to school, I was also teaching and selling, where I learned more about business, and also, again, the whole disease of diabetes and helping those. So once I finished Iona, I was given an opportunity to take a certificate on the addiction world, drug and alcohol. And I did do that certificate. And then the next door just opened to go to social work school at Fordham University, so I would learn more about mental health. None of this was my goal. I didn't plan any of this. It was sort of unfolding in the bigger plan of life. And so as I'm being schooled, I leave the sales after 6 to 7 years, and I went back into nursing. And for the next 15 years, I did medical surgical home care. I did psychiatric home care. I did hospice home care. And I loved being in the home because, once again, this energy that was around, helping, working through me and around me, which I call a creator energy, God energy, was right there, whether I was in the South Bronx in a lot of poverty, or whether I was in Westchester County in the richest homes that there were. It didn't matter, because people were suffering with disease, and I was able to go right into that setting and assist in any way possible, whether they had medical, surgical, hospice, or psychiatric. So I enjoyed that very much. And as I was in the office in the Bronx, getting ready at 6 a.m. in the morning to go out, I had one of the educators come to me and ask me one morning, what is your background? And do you have any degrees other than nursing? And I explained that I did. And she asked for me to begin teaching as an adjunct professor in the College of New Rochelle. And so I was thrilled to go in and begin teaching the basics of nursing, going into the ICU with the nurses, and also teaching psychiatric. I taught in Rockland Psychiatric, Pomona, the emergency So I was able then to give back to the nurses in the surgical, medical, psychiatric. I did that for 4 years. I taught at Pace College and Rockland College. And again, I didn't plan on any of this, but I was really able to get the foundation of disease, the disease of the body, the disease of the mind. But through all of this, I was also traveling quite a bit with healers around the world. I began that soon after the ICU and trying to learn what holistic was about, mind, body, spirit. And I was traveling all around to Egypt and India and so many different parts of the world, learning about healing and what that meant, uh, besides a religion, because there are many religions I've studied as well as I went through this. And I think everything leads back to God. No matter what, there's this big energy, creator energy that's living in all of us, that's around all of us, and that it heals all of us as well. And so one of my favorite trips was Israel. Another was India, and another was Egypt. And so as I went about, I collected a lot of modalities of healing. And so I was offered to teach holistic healing in the nursing of New Rochelle Hospital as well. And I began in the chakra system, where emotions get locked in the body and cause mental or physical disease. And from there, the nurses were very open to that. Sound healing was some of the other. Um, and how people use aromatherapy oil to calm themselves, to bring more peace, etc. Things like this. So that was about, now we're on 2009, and I was offered to join in with other practitioners to start my own private practice, which was very exciting and very scary at the same time, because when you take that next leap to be on your own and not work in any more traditional way, you sort of have to surrender it all up and just know that there's the energy working with you to bring you to where you need to go next. So I was very blessed to work with many different practitioners, different offices. I was offered to work in the New York City area for 11 years, and also in the Westchester area for 11 years. And people would find me on a website. I began to develop that. And as I left the nursing and went in, things just started to unfold. And so people began coming with all sorts of issues, whether it was death and dying and helping counseling, addiction, marital, family, all sorts of issues going on. But many, many people came to want to grow spiritually. They all wanted to expand in their spiritual journey, growing, transforming, changing. And this was all very exciting for me, and a blessing to meet so many. Once again, when I was in the ICU, that was, I think, one of the most rewarding jobs I've had. And now, once again, having my own practice in New York was because again, there's so many people all over the city, races, nationality, there's just all walks of life. And because I had so much travel, I was able to relate to so many people. And it's exciting to have met so many wanting to grow in their journey, transforming, changing, growing. And so now with COVID, since last March, I work on Zoom. And I had done that for the 11 years on Skype all around the country, but now it's a full time. And people often wonder, how could this energy work on a computer? And so that's the magnificent part, is that energy is everywhere. I don't have to be laying hands on you, which I never did. It's just the energy coming out of me. If you would, I would call it a gift from God. And so it's mostly releasing energy off of people, mind, body, spirit. So we all know that emotion, dark emotion, can cause disease. It can cause anxiety, depression. A lot of us know that cancer can stem from resentment and bitterness. Again, we have genetics, we have environmental, we have many things, but mind, body, and spirit all connects. And so sound healing, I think, was something that you wanted to know. What are some of the results that people say when they come on board? And I usually combine it. Like, I have energy healing. People will come on audio every Tuesday night or Thursday morning for 10 minutes. And I use the energy and the sound healing. And so people would often say they have more peace, they're calm, there's more clarity in the mind, where they could meditate, possibly see images clearer. The chaotic thoughts stop. There's an openness, there's less stuck energy. Others have said there's unblocking going on in the unconscious. Sleep is excellent after a sound healing. They've also said that sometimes pain in the body gets dislodged. So for many people, different things are happening. I can have a sound healing and an energy session on a Tuesday night or Thursday morning with 20 people, and all 20 people experience something different, which is so magnificent, because the energy is hitting each person at a different vibration, at a different level.
That is so amazing. There's so many questions I want to ask you. um, but let's start with the sound healing. Now, are there specific frequencies or tuning forks that you incorporate within each sound healing, or
So I use my tuning forks, which look like this, for those, just tuning for, and each has a different vibration and a frequency. And so I go through each chakra with the different frequency.
is
I
that?
also add in some bells here as well.
I have those too.
Yeah. So it's a frequency. All of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 of these. See, even the smaller ones. So each vibrate with the different chakra. And so I'll focus, let's say, on the first chakra, fear, and then I'll intentionally, whatever fear someone's going through, and then we release it. I think it's great to be mindful of what you're frightened of and then release it. Sometimes you might not even know, and the blocks are being released right out of the cells of the body.
So the lowest frequency, are you using 396 there, or is that one
I
too?
will be honest, let me see.
It's,
This is a 963.
oh, that's the smallest one. So that one's for the crown.
Yes, yes. The highest one that I'm with here is at a 285.
Okay, that's what I was curious with because um, I have a solfeggio tuning fork set. It's 9 of them, and it starts at 174, which is for like the general pain. I found, and I always want to combine my own research and empirical research with these Eastern practices to show that there is scientific proof and evidence that it does resonate with different parts of your body,
Yes.
and it just
I have to be honest, I just kind of work more intuitively than the numbers. Sometimes I'll just pick out, and It's more on an intuitive level, but yeah, they each have a number that goes right through. And the higher one that I work with, all of them is at a 174. I think that's the largest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, I'll look up all different things and I'll I'm getting my doctorate through Boston University. So I usually try to go to their library first, but then I'll compare it with things I find with my Google research and stuff too. But with 174, you know, I'll look at the charts of what they say it heals, and then I was like, okay, well, let me experiment throughout my whole body and see what it helps me with. And I found like some of them just help with general pain, like the 174 one, that the longest one. I used it on I had carpal tunnel for the longest time, and
Mhm.
it helped. Like I would just, you know, activate the fork and just go over my hand, and within the same day, just later on that evening, I didn't feel pain anymore, and
And many people have said that the same way, but I think what you said is most important is each person experimenting their own set on themselves,
yeah,
because something happens in that unknown,
yeah,
in the unknown. With this type of work, the spiritual work, there's a lot of supernatural unknowns. And that's when we have to surrender that mind, the ego of that. We know this is going to be good for that. And we know this. There's sometimes things I'll just say, and I'm like, okay, I know that didn't come from me, or that whole intuition. Yeah. So there are people that buy the tuning forks privately. A lot of my cancer clients that have recovered have bought these sets and work on themselves privately, like you just said.
wow. Oh, and no, it's speaking of cancer, and I love how you said there are different factors, how with resentment and
Bitterness and resentment are really two I find a lot with cancer, especially in the breast,
yeah,
that when we don't learn to forgive,
yeah.
this locks in and it's very hard to love.
And it's amazing that you said that, because I just finished a book by a neurologist who said that only 20% of cancer patients is passed on from generation to generation. 80% is from your lifestyle and from those tensions that you're holding within your body. So it's just so amazing.
It's the mind and the heart. When this is not connected in love, which we know everyday life, it's very hard out here. But if we're taking time each day, at least 15 minutes in silence, we will know that we're hateful. We will know that we're bitter. We will know that we're jealous. And those are the emotions that eat us up. They really do. And the only way, if you only had time to get a tuning fork and tune yourself off, it would be better than ignoring everything.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah, because then it boils up inside.
Mhm.
And you don't realize how much, well, a lot of us don't realize how much we hold on to and for how long we hold on to it.
Especially when we're busy, busy, busy,
Yes.
busy, 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 busy. And it's just piling up, and piling up.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like I love everything that you're saying. And I wanted to also bring back to the point when you said you see dark and light energy. Is it something that you feel as well, or is it something that you're visually, like when you enter in a room, like do you feel the person's energy? Because sometimes that happens
So
to me.
this is an area of life most people don't want to talk about. Um, it's more now we can talk about this than we had in the past, but so there's belief systems that if we talk about it, we bring it in. That's not true. To me, the truth sets us free. There's dark and there's light. The light is love, right? It's love. People might see angelic energies. They might see uh, the environment. Nature is all about that. The trees, the flowers, it's all part of us, right? The dark is more about hate and anger and jealousy and this sort of thing, and it's destruction and right after a tornado, what you see, and people fighting and warfare and guns, right? So we have light and dark. Now we're going to take it to an energetic level. How does the dark get in to our soul, into our mind, into our heart? Through dark emotions. That's the host. And I do have a PDF energy healing on my site that talks about this, but the host is the hate. So the energy coming to you that's around us, dark energies out here and light energy. So the more hate we have, it comes in and it lives in you. It's a host. And then your thought forms begin. Where did these thought forms come in? Where? Because you just collected negative energy. So now the thoughts begin. So now you feel heavy. You feel anxious. You're twirling. You're exhausted. You're fatigued. Someone has an energy healing. They're lighter. They have more clarity. They have more peace. They have more. So how did that happen? The negative was taken off. But how does it stay off? I can pull that off all day long, but how are you going to keep it off? Meditation, journaling your emotions. What are your emotions? Yes, we're all going to be sad when someone we love die, but how long will you sit in that?
Oh,
When you have a divorce, it's normal to go through all these emotions, but how long are you going to sit in it?
right.
You must transmute it out. You must filter it out, and you must get rid of it. Because if it stays in your soul, you're building patterns and belief systems. You're building patterns to stay sad and depressed. You're building a belief system that says, I'm hopeless, I'm powerless, I can't do anything. So as all these patterns and beliefs are building up, we build up a mindset that can cause disease of depression, disease of anxiety. We can build a disease that gives high blood pressure, cardiac, cancer. And it's so simple, but so difficult to deal with our emotion. By numbing it out, it's still going to attract this, because this negativity is going to find the host in the soul. Numbing out, staying in it, okay, it's going to really go to town. And so I hope that helped. The dark and the light. The light, so to keep bringing the light in, is we need a spiritual practice, whatever that means. I am not here to sell you a religion, but I am here to say that all the religions I've practiced or I've been involved in, you must have an intimate relationship with your creator. That's the biggest thing. Yes, at this time, I will say Catholic Christianity, I do read my Bible, I do pray in that area. That's my business, okay? But the whole holistic piece is very profound in that the fact is mind, body, spirit is all connected. And when you have a spiritual practice, it says, I'm going to find time to talk to my creator, to pray, to journal my emotions, to just spend that time, even in sound healing, whatever you need to do to get connected to the self.
Oh, it's so true. And I love that you say that, because I teach these sound healing workshops, and I talk about once a part of your body is in balance, what physical and emotional states you could be in, and healing, and every single healing, uh, part of it is about journaling, affirmations. It's redirecting those thoughts with those not statements, or and changing it to a positive affirmation, because we don't realize 80%, 75, no, sorry, 90% of our thoughts are repetitive, and
Correct.
75% are negative, and we don't realize it. It's just,
That's right. And when I go through the chakra packet, when people just want to do the chakras, the tools in there are affirmations, oils.
yeah.
Some people love stones, color therapy, certain healing practices, yoga. All of that goes into the chakra sections. When I go into the Darin method, where we listen to your life story and we look at your patterns, your beliefs, your emotions, we use all of the energy, the sound healing, the chakra work to move it all out, to get clarity, to get healing. So, what is healing? Healing is when the body, the mind, and the spirit are all in alignment, has a balanced life, a healthy life.
It's amazing. I love everything that you're saying. I'm blown away, and it's amazing. Even being in the presence of you, I feel like this peace. Just so you know, from the moment that you came on, I said, "Wow, it's like you feel just relaxed and peaceful." And but it's so important. And even I just had a talk yesterday, a presentation on emotions is a temporary state of being, and then if you experience that emotion for too long, it turns into a mood, which eventually turns into your personality. And it's like you were saying, like if you get stuck in those negative emotions, it will turn into a bad mood and it'll lower your vibrations. And when something's not optimally functioning, then that's where you invite disease into your life.
That's right. And I think our creator gave us emotions to enjoy life. When a baby's born, you want to feel that love. When you're in partnership, you want to feel that love. You travel and you see beauty all around. We need emotions. You write a book, you need emotions. You write poetry, you need emotions. You make love, you need emotions.
It's
But
so
if they run your life,
right.
you're lost. If you numb them and do drugs and alcohol and addiction, you're lost. You
Uh,
cannot numb and you cannot let these emotions take over your life and control you.
oh, thank you so much, Linda, for joining me today. And I hope that we could do this again soon.
I would love it. It was an honor to meet you.
Oh, same here. And I want to make sure that everyone could find you. And I will definitely post your information on my end afterwards. But
Okay,
if you could share with us where they could personally find you if they want to find you
sure.
right now.
So if they want to find me, they can call me immediately at 914 500 3712. 914-500-3712, or my website is www.lindadarin.com. LINDADARIN.com. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, and have a wonderful, beautiful day. And I'll definitely be in touch with you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.